Hi everybody, this is Judy Tuttle here from Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Midland, Texas. I just remembered I forgot to flip it around so that you could see me and the words behind me going the right way. I hope everybody's doing great. I have had a whirlwind of a weekend. I'm sure some of you have too. Today's President's Day, so my husband had the day off. We ended up going to see my niece's baby shower in Abilene, which is a little over 2 hours away from here, yesterday, and decided to spend the night with his sister last night. And we just got back at about 12:30 today, and I have been crazily busy designing the cards for my online card class to go today. I hope you guys love them. That is always my goal, is that you will see me create things that you will love. So I hope that is the case today. I'm going to go over here to my computer real quick and make sure that I can see all of you so I can interact with you here. I'm not seeing myself yet, but I'm going to refresh it and hopefully there you are. So when you jump on, let me know you're here. Say hi, let me know where you're from. Hi, Jen. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. All right. So first of all, I wanted to show you some cards that I got in the mail this last week. Then we're going to talk a little bit of business, and then we're going to get busy creating together as people jump on here. So all right, I am going to turn my camera down and around so that you guys can see my beautiful glass mat here. I just want to make sure you know that if you have not joined a team, the benefits of joining the team are immense. You get 20% discount on everything you buy when you're on a team, at least, depending on what level you're at. Hi, Brenda. Thanks for joining me today. But right now during celebration, which ends on February 29th, Stampin' Up! Is throwing in this glass mat suite. You get the glass mat, which I don't know how I lived without this. You get a silicone sheet that attaches to it. Mine's all covered with everything I'm using today, so I don't want to mess that up. And then you get a micro soft chamois that will clean your glass mat and keep it shiny and looking new all the time. You can get the glass mat suite and $125 worth of anything you want in any of our catalogs for $99 only until the end of February. Now, the starter kit is always a great deal, but right now they're throwing in the glass mat suite, which has been very popular. So if you're interested in finding out how to join a team, get the glass mat, get 20% off, be a part of my great Tuttle Up Stamping team. You get all my PDFs of my classes for free. You get support. You get the encouragement from a fabulous team of people. My team is just the best. I love them a lot. So if you want more information about that, let me know. Secondly, we're in the middle of celebration right now, which means that not only can you join the team and get the glass mat, or you can also get $155 instead of $125. But let me tell you, the glass mat is a $60 value. So that is really the best way to go, but maybe you have one already, okay? So you can also get an additional $30 free if you don't want the glass mat, okay? So during celebration, you can get free things. And so today, what I'm going to be using out of the celebration catalog is that I'm going to be using the Softly Sophisticated bundle. That's going to I'm going to use that with my flower cart set that I'm using today. I'm using quite an assortment of ink pads, of dies, I love what the things we're making today. So I hope you guys enjoy that. the celebration catalog, the celebration special ends on February 29th, as does the join special that is going on right now. The mini catalog will last until the end of April. So this is our seasonal spring catalog. We also every year come out with a seasonal holiday catalog, which is Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, lots of Christmas, right? So many fun things in here that I haven't even been able to show you all yet. So I'm going to be working out of this today. And what I am using today is this beautiful flower cart bundle. This is the stamp set and such fun dies. I can't wait to show you what all you can do with all these dies that are in the flower cart bundle today. Okay. All right, if you would like the class to go, I will send you a kit to make 2 each of the 3 designs. And you know what I found out? The reason balloons kept falling from the sky is because I did the peace sign. So I'm going to try to avoid, you get 2 each of 3 designs. So maybe balloons won't fall from the sky like they did last week. That was so funny. I had to do some... I know, right, Brenda? It's so fun to get all the freebies. It really is. Okay, so today I'm going to show you a slew of things we're going to be using. Here is the flower cart bundle. This is the star of the show today. The flower cart bundle, you can create a flower cart. I'm going to show you how to do that. There's several different ways to do that. You get several different flower pots with leaves. You get sentiments, you get a little chalkboard or placard that goes up in front. You can put pebbles on if you want to, wheels. You can stamp wheels, you can cut out wheels. You've got different kinds of, it's amazing. It's amazing. So I think you're going to enjoy the star of the show today, which is the flower cart bundle. I'm also going to be using the Thoughtful Expressions dies that are in the mini catalog. This is the one that comes with the hummingbird, but you guys, these labels are worth buying it for. I'm going to use these over and over again. So I'm using these and these today on some of my cards. This is that Softly Sophisticated stamp set and embossing folder. I'm going to be using both of these today, and this is free with a $100 order till the end of February 29th. Luckily, this year we get an extra day, right? All right, so I'm going to put that aside. Before I start, I want to show you some of the beautiful cards I got in the mail this week. I always like showing off the cards that people send me. So this fun hot air balloon card came from my friend, Melissa Foss. Melissa is an amazing young stamper and demonstrator. She does fabulous work, and she sent me this fun Valentine's card. So I wanted to show that off to you. Hi, Lori Kemp. Thanks for joining me. This card was a thank you for my birthday bash gifts that I sent out. Isn't that so pretty? I love those pinks. And this came from Terry Green in Colorado. It's such a pretty card. And she said that these butterflies are very shimmery with the Wink of Stella. And she said when she was opening it, she got a big blob. So she just spread it out and punched the butterflies, and they came out very shimmery. It's so, so pretty. So thank you, Terry, for that. I love that card. This is a super fun card. They look like they use those everyday detail dies there, didn't they? That's so fun. This came from my friend Barb Curry as a thank you also for the birthday surprise gifts. And I'm a part of a swap using these everyday details. I think I told you guys last week. I decided to do the nest last card that we did last week for my swap. Those went out this weekend. But look how fun this and pretty this card is. And isn't that just gorgeous? And she stamped inside just like I did. So, you know, great minds think alike. This came from Greta Wiltshire, who is in Heavener, Oklahoma. So thank you, Greta. I don't know if you watch my Facebook Lives or not. But I really did love that card. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for watching from Hazen, North Dakota. It is 77 degrees here right now, so we are having a beautiful day. What's it like in Hazen? Oh, hi, Terry. Did you see that I just showed everybody the card that you sent me? So pretty. I loved it. All right, so here's my first card that we're going to make today. Today, on this first card, we're using the flower cart stamp set and dies. We're also using the Softly Sophisticated embossing folder, and we are using the Sunny Days Designer Series paper, which is also a celebration item as well. So lots of fun things here on this card. So I'm going to put this thing all aside, pull out my measurements. So this first card is using Daffodil Delight as a base. It is cut 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Okay, so that is going to be my card base. 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. All right. Next, I have a piece of that Sunny Days Designer Series paper. That is also a celebration offering. Let's see if I can turn to that very quick. Well, that's not too bad for North Dakota, is it? 45. So here is the Sunny Days paper. That is what I'm using for my bingo night on February 29th, which I'd love to have a few more people sign up for that. Super fun, bright, cheerful prints. So this is the sunshine paper that came from that. It is cut 3 7/8, 5 5 1/8. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to, oh yay, Barb. Well, I hope you love what I did. This first card is the easiest of the three. I'm going to build and get a little harder as we go. My last card is a super fun fold that I kind of made up on the fly today. So I don't know, hope it works. I've tested it out, so it should work fine. So there we go. There's that Sunny Days paper. I feel like this base is a tiny bit crooked, so I'm going to shore that up here. Grab my bone folder. Bone folders are amazing. There we go. I made it a little bit straighter right there. Okay. Then I have a scrap of white. And you need the scrap to be big enough to stamp some images. What we're going to be stamping is the flower pots that are all connected together, the flowers that are all connected together, the greenery that's all connected together, and this stamp that says, have a lovely day. Those are the ones that we're using today. I have a couple of scraps here. I don't know if I'll need both of them, but I have them handy in case we do. I'm starting out with crumb cake. And I'm stamping the connected flower pots in crumb cake. Let me see, I'm going to put it right over here. Trying to get them all on this one sheet of paper. Not that they have to be, but I think that will help me. And then I'm going to take out my Calypso Coral, stamp some flowers. I think I'm going to be able to get it all on this one sheet. That would be awesome, right? There we go. And then I'm going to grab my Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to stamp the greenery over the flowers in Granny Apple Green. And you can see pretty easily how it all fits kind of in the empty spaces there. Just try to put the flowers inside the leaves. It's really pretty easy to see. Look at that. Isn't that fun? And then the last thing, I'm going to go ahead and put it on this other sheet just to be safe, is have a lovely day. And I'm going to do that in Daffodil Delight. Right like that. Have a lovely day. Okay, now I'm going to grab some dies. For Have a Lovely Day, I'm using the second to the smallest of the Thoughtful Expressions dies. It's going to go right like that. Let me grab my Post-it note tape here. Tape that down. And then this is coming from my flower cart. And I'm going to stamp, I'm going to die cut that one. So one thing you could get if you joined for $99 is you could get a Stampin' die cutting machine. It is an essential, I think. I use mine every day. There are two sizes. I prefer the larger size just because it can do more. But if you want to just see how you like the die cutting machine and get started, we have a mini that is 3 inches wide. Our larger one is 6 inches wide. So it just allows you to cut more things on a 6-inch wide surface than on a 3-inch wide surface. So I know people who bought the mini and then tried it out and loved it and then decided, I think I want to get the large. I actually have both, of course, and use them both. So it's totally up to you of what you want. This is the flower cart. Yes, Cindy. We're using the flower cart set today. And then let me cut my label out here. And there's one more thing that I cut ahead of time just to save us some time. I did do some ahead of time cutting today because it would have taken me too long to try to cut every single thing while I'm on the Facebook Live. So I did do some cut ahead and embossing ahead for us. Okay, let me put those things away. One other thing that I cut ahead is there is this cute little bunting banner, and I cut it out of the Dazzling Glimmer paper. I just wanted a little bit of shine on the front of my card. Okay, let me move all those things aside there. I have a piece of basic white that is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and that is embossed with that softly sophisticated embossing folder. I'm going to add this to the top of my Sunny Skies DSP here. Cindy, you're always so good about sharing my videos. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Okay, there we go. Put that right in the middle there. Okay, now my Have a Lovely Day is going to go flat, and it's going to go right here, about right there, about halfway down on the left side, and I'm going to adhere it flat. Right like that. I have my flower pots and my flowers and my bunting. I'm going to start with my bunting. I learned this the hard way. I'm going to put a little dot on each of those little pendants there. And I'm just going to add it right across the front of those pots, right like that. And then the flowers are going to adhere right on top of that flower, those flower pots. I have available to me right here somewhere. La la la. Maybe I made it up. I had a silicone mat because sometimes when you are adhering just a little edge of glue onto a little edge of something else, it's kind of hard to get it to stick. Let me see if I can find where I took my silicone back here. Here, I'll just grab another one. So the silicone craft sheet, what it allows you to do, so that you don't get your glass mat all gluey. Yes, that's a word, gluey. Is it allows you to glue some things together and then set it down and let it kind of take hold without worrying about your glass mat getting all glued up. So I usually take a block and just kind of hold it in place there, and then that glued item will just peel right off, okay? So we're gonna let that sit right there for just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and do the inside of my card. So for the inside, I just have a piece of that basic white that's cut 4 by 5 1/4. And I have a piece of that Sunny Days paper that's cut 1/2 by 4. This one's gonna have the most boring of all the insides. The other ones are gonna be stamped a little bit, which is gonna be fun. So I'm going to adhere my strip here, Sun, right across the bottom of that basic white card base, and then I'm going to adhere that to the inside of my Daffodil Delight card base here. There we go. All right, I think this is probably glued together well. So pretty. This is just a super simple card. I'm just showing you an easy way to use the flower cart stamp set if you didn't want to build the whole cart. But on the next 2 cards, I'm going to build the whole cart with you, okay, in 2 different ways. So here we go. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back side of my flowers here. So did any of you do anything fun for President's Day? I know everybody doesn't get today off. It's nice that my husband did today. But when we went to Abilene and stayed with Jim's sister, she's a teacher, and they had to do an in-service today. They didn't really get the day off. So there we go. There's my flower pots right there. And then I chose another celebration item here. These are the opaque faceted gems. These are one of the celebration items that you can get for free as well. And I thought that these little peachy colored ones would be great on this card. So I don't think they're Calypso Coral, but I think that they coordinate enough that it's going to bring out the coral in those flowers there. You can tell me what you think. So I did 2 down there, and then I just scattered a few more up here just to have a little bit of fun sprinkling down on the front of my card, okay? So there's card number 1. Super fun. I like the little bit of bling on the bunting right there to give it a little pizzazz. So anyway, that's our first card of the day. The next 2, I'm going to actually build a flower cart with both of them. So I'm going to, every time today, I'm going to have to put the stamps away. Usually I have enough blocks, but I'm using so many stamps today that I'm going to need all of my blocks on a couple of my carts. So let me get these organized and put away. Have you seen very many people? Hi, Sue. Nice to see you. Glad you caught me live. It's always such an encouragement when people do catch me live because you guys are always so sweet and say the sweetest things. Makes me feel really good. So I appreciate that. All right, so here we go. I'm putting all those things away for just a second. I'm going to pull out my second card here. I love this card. This card uses, again, an assortment of things. This is the card we're going to make next. I love how our friendship has grown. Isn't that sweet? And we're just going to build that cart right there. We're using the softly sophisticated stamp set with this one. So here we go. I'm going to pull everything aside. Those are my cart pieces there. We won't need those for a little bit. All right, so I'm actually starting with a piece of this crumb cake gingham paper that is from the Painted Lavender suite. It's one of the back sides of one of those beautiful Painted Lavender. This DSP is cut 4 by 5 1/4. This cardstock is cut 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. And I'm actually going to open it sideways here, landscape ways. I've scored it by 5 1/2 right there. So I'm just going to add this crumb cake gingham paper to the top there of my, and this is not right, you guys. I'm going to correct that. This should be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 is what I kept the DSP because I wanted it to be almost covering the whole front of the card. Okay, I personally am not very good. I love that check paper too, so I have used it on a lot of cards. It's so pretty. There we go. So I want it to almost cover the whole front of the card. I have a hard time when I'm trying to cover the whole front of the card. I don't know why. So I like to do it just a shimmy little shorter. It helps me get it straight a little bit more. So there we go. Then I have a piece of Melon Mamba that is 2 1/2 by 5. And I have already embossed that with that Softly Sophisticated embossing folder. I'm using that a lot, aren't I? Because I love it. 2 1/2 by 5 embossed with the Softly Sophisticated embossing folder. And I'm going to attach this to the front of my card base right here, right in the middle. Trying to center it from top and bottom and side to side as best we can. You know, the joy of a handmade card is it's not always completely perfect, and that is okay. Okay, then I cut one of those rectangular scalloped labels from the scalloped contour dies. This one is the scalloped rectangle that is 4 1/2 by 3 1/8. Okay, so on this, I'm going to grab my Softly Sophisticated stamp set. I'm using the Tall Skinny Greenery, and I'm using the flowers that coordinate with that one. Right there. Okay. On the bottom edge of this rectangle label, hi Jen, I've missed you too. We need to chat soon. I have the stems here from the Softly Sophisticated stamp set, and I'm going to stamp across the bottom edge of this scalloped rectangle in Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going right across. I should be able to fit 5 on there. I just re-inked this Granny Apple Green. It was pretty dry. I was struggling to get a bright color. So anytime you're struggling, if it feels dry or it feels like you're having trouble getting a nice crisp color, go ahead and re-ink your ink pad, because it really does make a difference. Okay, now I'm grabbing that Melon Mamba and my flowers, and just like the flower pots from the flower cart, these little flowers fit right inside. And I focus on these buds right here, this one and this one and this top one. And I feel like if I get those buds on those 3, then everything else will line up the way it should. See? Isn't that cool? Let's do that again. We're going to do that 5 times here, right across the edge of this paper. Isn't that so pretty? If you haven't gotten this Softly Sophisticated stamp set. It is very simple, but so fun to play with. And you guys know I've done several cards using this already this year. It's gonna be a classic, I think. Okay, and here's my last one. Get those buds all lined up. There we go. All right, so there's my flowers across the front edge of that scalloped rectangle. Now, I have already cut out some pieces here. I've cut out the flower cart die piece, which, let me grab the dies. Those pieces, those two pieces right there are actually connected to each other right here, okay? So you can cut them out at once, and I cut them out in crumb cake, okay? And then I have some wheels, the detailed wheels here, and I cut those out in early espresso. So you get 2 wheels, and then you get the, I don't know what you would call it, the legs for the back end of the cart here. And again, those are all, I just bent that when I was trying to pick it up. Those can be all cut out at once. They've connected all those together, so that makes it easy to cut those all out at the same time. Now, I thought that this cart needed a little, what do I want to say, detail, like distressing on it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to stamp. Let me move these pieces out of the way here. I'm going to stamp a little bit of early espresso right there on my glass mat. And I'm going to pick it up with my blending brush here. And I'm just going to add a little early espresso to that wood look of the cart and make it look a little more like distressed wood. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this inside piece here so it doesn't look so stark and unrealistic. There we go. Okay, put that away. I'm going to grab my chamois and clean that up right away so I don't get it on any other thing. See how easy that cleans up? It's like Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. Chamois, the quicker cleaner-upper. There we go. All right. Crazy how my mind works. Okay, so now here's going to be our cart. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to kind of put these pieces together. So I'm going to add some glue to the back side of this piece right here and attach it right there so it looks like a flower cart. The cart part of the flower cart right there. So you can see how adding that little bit of brown just brings out that wood look of the cart. So now this wheel is actually going to go behind our cart right there. This wheel is going to go in front, and they're going to connect by that little axle right there, that axle that's coming off that other wheel. And then this piece is going to go right here on the back end to hold the cart upright. Okay, so it's going to look right like that. Okay, so what I need to do is flip this over. I'm going to bring back my silicone mat here. I'm going to add a little glue here to the front and to the back side. So my cart, this wheel is going to go behind the cart, as is this little leg piece right here. Takes a little thinking to figure out how this whole thing kind of goes together. So there we go. That's how it's going to go behind it, okay? Because I'm putting it on the silicone mat, it's gonna peel right off as soon as it is all dry and everything. And so then this piece, I'm gonna put a little bit of glue in the center, and then just kind of lightly brush it around this top edge here. There we go. I'm going to connect that to that axle right there. There we go. And then I'm going to do what I did last time. Take a block and just kind of shimmy that off to the side right there. Okay. Next, I've cut another one of those Thoughtful Expression dies in basic white. I cut the very smallest one right here of these more rectangular looking dies. So pretty. I love the stitched edge on this. So this one comes out to be about 1 1/8 by 2 1/4. I'm going to grab my Melon Mamba ink. I'm going to grab the sentiment that I want to use, which is, I love how our friendship has grown. I love how, here it is right here. I was like, where did it go? I'm going to grab a block, some Melon Mamba ink, and I'm going to stamp that right here in the middle of that label. I love how our friendship has grown. So pretty, right? Okay. Now, hopefully, this is dry and I can pick it up. I am going to adhere this right here above those flowers, like it's rolling through the flower patch. And I'm going to add some dimensionals to the cart part of this cart. Thanks, Sue. There we go. There's the cart part of that with some dimensionals on it. And then I'm adding a little bit of glue to the bottom right here. The cart part is going to pop up, but those wheels needed to be secure at the bottom. So there we go. I'm going to add this block to that again, just to kind of hold that down. Give that just a second. For my embellishments on this one, I'm going back to those dragonflies and birds. This was part of that Garden Meadow suite that is one of the online exclusives. So these are still available for purchase. They're little dragonflies and a couple of different birds here. I'm going to go ahead and take this off, and this is going to get popped up right here on the front of that card with just that Melon Mamba just peeking out from the sides there. So here we go. Put some dimensionals here. Couple in the center. I don't like saggy middles. So Jim's birthday was on Saturday, so we celebrated with the Grands and Kristen and Ryan on Saturday night. Went out to eat, opened gifts, got ice cream, all the fun stuff. And then we celebrated again last night in Abilene with his sister and my sister and her husband. It was super fun. We had a great time. Okay, so that label is going to go right down there on the bottom. I'm just going to put one right here on the side, and then I'm just going to add glue here to this other side to hold it to the label. If I put dimensionals right here, it's going to pop weird. So it's just leveling everything out right there. There we go. So cute, right? How cute is that? I love that. All right, so now I'm going to my dragonflies and birds, and I'm putting a dragonfly right here on this label, and then I have two birds up here in the sky. So the best way to learn about my classes that are in person or that you can take to go is to be a part of my email list. I always add, isn't that pretty? I love that. Okay, so then for the inside of this, I decided to use something very simple. I have a piece of basic white cardstock. Let's see. There it is. Cut 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to stamp something right in the bottom right corner here. I'm going back to that Softly Sophisticated branch. Thank you, Barb. I love it too. I love it too. I think this might be one of my swaps for on stage in Houston next month, because I do think it's very springy as well. Let me find my Melon Mamba here. How do things disappear on me? Am I that scattered? I think I am that scattered. I think that's my problem. I just had my berry burrs right out here. Okay. Well, goodness gracious. Oh, there it is, right there, underneath my silicone mat. It's always underneath something, right? Okay, so here is my Melon Mamba, and I'm going to line up those buds again. There we go, so pretty. Just a little something on the inside. You guys know me, I like to bring the outside to the inside in some way, right? Okay, so this one, thanks for trying to help, Sue. I, you know, always struggle with that a little bit. There we go. How pretty is that? I love that little branch just popping up right there on the edge. So that is my card number 2. I hope you guys like that. So that is how you put a basic cart together. Let me grab my chamois and start cleaning and putting some things away, because my next card is a wowza card. I think it's a wowza card just because there's lots of pieces going on. So let me clean up everything here because I want to get my work surface as clean as can be and things put away as best I can before I start the next card. I'm using a little different cart on the next card. I'm using the cart that has the awning on it. So let me put some pieces away that I know I'm not going to be using on my next card, and then pull some pieces out that I know I will need. So the Softly Sophisticated can go away. So I don't know about you guys. Celebration used to be 3 months long, and it felt like it would just never end, right? And now it's 2 months long, and I feel like, wow, that went really fast. So I don't know what the answer is, but if you have not gotten the things you want from Celebration, you better hurry up because it is ending soon. Okay, I'm going to try to decide what pieces I need for my next card here. I need this cart. Put these away. I need my awning here. Put this away. My wheels. My flower pot. I need my greenery for my flowers, and I need my flowers. I think that might be it, other than a skinny block for my sentiment here. And I think we will be good to go. All right, there we are. Okay, so you ready for this? There's lots of measurements on this one, so you're going to have to follow along with me here. Put all these pieces away. So this last card, I kind of made up the fold on it because I wasn't finding a fold that would work for me for this card. I want to showcase for you guys with this one, this delightfully eclectic paper. So this is my next card, using the flower cart that has the awning on it. And it's going to open like this and then like this. Happiest birthday to you. I've seen variations of this, but I don't know if I've ever seen one exactly like mine. So it could have been hidden back in the recesses of my mind somewhere. So I'm going to show you how I did this, okay? So this delightfully eclectic paper is one of the things that you can get free with a $50 purchase. And this paper, you guys, is so fun. When they say eclectic, it's eclectic. You get strawberries, you get lots of geometric patterns, different kinds of flowers and polka dots, just fun, eclectic prints, right? You get pretzels. Could you see the pretzels there? You get swans. It's just so fun. So this is a double paper pack. It is ginormous. It normally costs $30, and you can get it free with a $50 purchase. So that is a great deal. I loved this one with it looks like the typewriter keys, and it looks really cute with that typewriter gesture type stamp set that we have. Obviously the flowers, I've used this for the birds, and there's a set that has pretzels in it that I use. That's some stripes, fun prints, okay? So I wanted to show you that because if you don't have that paper, you might want to get it while you can get it for free, okay? All right, so here we go. We are starting with a piece of bubble bath. I always want to say bubble gum. Bubble bath cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, and scored at 4 1/4. Okay, and then what I'm going to do on this card front is I'm going to take the front edge of the card. So here's the front of my card, and I'm going to cut 1 inch off the top of it, just to the score line. So I'm going to take the top edge of my card. I'm going to line it up here with the 1 inch mark. I'm going to take my cutting blade, and you'll see on our paper cutter, there's a little arrow right here where it tells you where you can line up that little arrow, that little line with the score line, and just cut 1 inch off the top right like that, okay? Then I'm going to put this sideways like this. I'm going to put that score line right in the middle of my alley right there, and I'm going to cut it off right to the 1 inch mark. You can see the 1 inch mark right here. You can see the little line right there, and cut that little piece off the front. There we go, okay? So that's gonna create that kind of gate opening on the front of the card, okay? Now, I have several pieces of Designer Series paper cut here. The one that I'm going to put on the front of the card right here is a 4 inch by 4 1/4 inch stripe. It's 4 1/4 long ways, 4 inches wide, okay? This is the back side of this pretty floral that we're also going to use on our card today, okay? So I'm going to take my glue, and I'm just going to adhere that stripe to the front panel right here of that gate. There we go, right like that, okay? Next, I have a 4.5 by 4-inch piece of the bubble gum paper, and along the long edge, this is the, I said 4.5, that's not right. It's 4.25 by 4, okay? It should be 4.25 by 4. Our card is 4.25 wide, so we want that 4.25 by 4. And then along the 4-inch edge, we're going to score down a 1/2 inch, okay? A 1/2 inch along that 4-inch edge. So I'm going to fold that over, right like that. I'm going to use my bone folder, get a really good crease on that right there. Then I have a piece of designer series paper, and it's cut 4 inches by 3.25 inches. 4 inches by 3.25 inches. That's what's going to go on the top flap right here. Okay, so I'm going to add glue right there to that designer series paper. I'm going to add it to my top flap here, and that score fold is folded to the back. Okay, so let me grab my bone folder. Just want to make sure I get a really good crease on that score line and get that DSP pressed down really well. All right, now this scored edge, the folded edge, is going to go flush with the top of the card right here. Okay, that folded edge is going to go flush with the top of the card. So you're going to use just a little bit of liquid glue right here on this edge. That's going to give us a little bit of wiggle room. I'm going to take my flap and I'm going to make sure that it is, the folded edge is flush with the top edge of the card. Okay? Right like that. You can even turn it over and make sure we get it straight from right to left, right there. Okay, there we go. All right, now, you might be wondering, now I have this, I've got a little bit of an edge coming off here. Let me cut that off. There we go. All right. You've got this, now you've got this seam on the inside of your card. We're going to cover that up mostly. We have a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5.25, and I have a 1-inch piece of that designer series paper. And you know what? You could use either side of this if you wanted to. You could use the stripes or the flowers, but I use the flowers along the top edge there. Right, like that. And then I'm going to stamp inside, happy birthday to you. And I am using Old Olive ink because that is the green, one of the greens that's in those leaves right there. Happiest birthday to you. I'm just going to put that right across that top edge. Very cute. And now I'm going to adhere. It does have some different folds going on, doesn't it, Cindy? Yeah, it's I made it up. So if it turns out to be a flop, I have no one to blame but myself. Okay, so now I'm going to take this piece of basic white with the DSP at the top, and I'm going to add it to the inside of my card, and it's going to mostly cover that seam across the top right there. Okay, right like that. So our fold is going to go fold in like this, fold down like that. Okay, is that cool? Pretty fun, right? Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for just a moment. I have a piece of Old Olive that is cut 3 by 4. And I just realized I need a piece for the front of this, and I don't know if it's in my, so I'm going to cut one real quick. going to go on the front of that is going to be 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So that's going to go right here on the front of that old olive. So the old olive is 3 by 4. The DSP is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to adhere that to the front here. Now I'm going to create that Wowza flower pot. I'm going to put that right off to the side right here. And I've got a piece of basic white, another white panel, and I'm just going to start stamping. I wanted my awning to be berry burst. So I thought that's what the center of these flowers look like right here. So I've got, put that aside right there. Berry burst is what my awning is going to be right here. And press that down. And then my cart itself is going to be crumb cake. There we go. My wheels are going to be early espresso. There we go. And then I have a flower pot that, of course, what does a flower pot have to be? It has to be copper clay. There we go, right there. My copper clay flower pot. And then I'm going to stamp 2 bundles of flowers. I have found that stamping on this one, the greenery first and then the flowers is the best way to go about it, okay? So I'm going to stamp my leaves and old olive and do that 2 times. And then my flowers are going to be fresh freesia. So I can see that the bottom edge of my flowers is going to fit right into where the greenery is, right there on. You see how it just fits right in there. There we go. There's my flowers. Okay, so what I did is I took my dies here. And there's a die for all of this. So there's a die here for the awning. So I laid that on top like that. There is a die for the bottom base of the cart right here. So that would go right there. There's a die for these wheels and the little leg right there. There is a die for the pot right there, and then there is a die for these beautiful flowers that go in the pots right there, okay? So I would put Post-it note tape, hold everything in place, run it through my Big Shot over here, but to save us some time, I went ahead and did that ahead of time, okay? So here are all my pieces. There's my awning, here's my flower pot. Let me get all my pieces. Here's my bottom cart. Here is my wheels. Here's my leg that goes on the front, and then my 2 flowers and my flower pot right there, okay? So now I just need to adhere all of this. I am sitting down, Terry. I know there are people who say they struggle with stamping sitting down, but I usually sit down when I stamp. It's just how I do it, okay? So now what I figured out with this awning here, let me get all these pieces off my silicone mat, is that every other bar coming down is going to go in front or in back. So this one's going to go in back. The next one in front is going to go right along that front edge. This one's going to go in back, and then that one in front right there. So it definitely looks like you've got 2 in the front and 2 in the back, okay? Maybe I should do that opposite. Let's see. Yep, it goes that way. That makes more sense, okay? So every other little bar from my awning is going to attach to my cart right here. So this bar attaches to that front left corner, behind right corner, behind right corner, left corner, and up front right there, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put just a dot of glue. Let me move this up a little bit so I can make sure you see it. Dot of glue right there, and a dot of glue right there. Okay, I'm going to attach those bars for my awning to those 2 places. I'm going to worry about putting those other bars behind in just a second. I'm going to let this stick first, okay? So let me put that on there. Then I've got my wheel and my leg right here. So my wheel is going to go right here, and the top of that wheel, the back wheel, is just going to go right like flush with the edge of my cart right there, okay? So I'm going to grab some liquid glue, just put a little bit around there, and add that right there to the front back edge of my cart, right like that, okay? And then this little leg is going to get a little bit of glue on it right here. I might be making this look way harder than I should, but I did all the math and all the work today, and this is the way that it made the most sense to me. So then this leg is going to go right there underneath the cart on the front right there, okay? So now the pieces that are not attached can be moved to the back, right like that, okay? All right, now one more thing. One of these bunches of flowers is going, yes, it's very fiddly for sure. So some people love this, some people hate this. I don't love it or hate it. I enjoy it sometimes, and sometimes I don't, okay? So that flower bundle is going to look like it's coming, like maybe that the pot is inside the cart, and it's just kind of poking out from the inside of the cart right there. Okay, so now this piece, this whole flower cart, is going to go right here on the front of our card. So I'm going to add dimensionals now to the back side of this. It does take some patience, I'm not going to lie. But some of my favorite cards are the ones that are really, they do take a lot of patience, right? And so I think the people who get them can see that. Wow, that is a lot of pieces. You really put a lot of work into that card for me, right? And they enjoy that, okay? So here's my flower cart. I'm going to take all my dimensionals off and adhere it to this front panel, right like okay? The last thing is that on the front here is that I have this other flower pot. I'm going to add a little glue right to that top edge and adhere that together. And put some dimensionals on the back side of this. And I'm actually going to put one right in between right there because I want to make sure that I don't put the dimensional in the wrong spot. So that's going to go right there on the bottom. How cute is that? Okay. So that is my fancy pantsy flower cart there. That's the one that takes a little bit more work. There we go. Okay, so I have some gems for this one. And the gems I am using are the hot air balloon rainbow gems that are in the mini catalog. You get a lot of fun colors here. But I pulled out these fresh freesia ones. And I put one right down here. I put another one right over here, just to give a little more texture and dimension to that front of that card right there, okay? Last thing to do is I got some linen thread. And I'm going to tie some linen thread around the front top panel here and tie it in a bow right over to the side right here. There we go. And you know, sometimes linen thread, it's hard to get it like tight, right? Have you guys ever had that problem? So I'm going to show you how to fix that. I take a little bit of Seal Plus and I run it right in the middle where you know it's not going to show on the front of your card. I pull that twine from either side and just push it in to that Seal Plus and it takes the slack out of it right there for us, okay? There we go. Okay, so now this panel is going to go right here on the front, and obviously we don't want any adhesive on the bottom edge here. So I'm just taking my dimensionals and popping just the top part of this panel to the top of the card flap. So what do you guys think of this fold? Do you like it? It's really not very hard. There's a little bit of cutting and engineering involved, but I think it's super fun. It would be cute with it would be, you're right, Terry, a hot dog or even vegetables. Like when I was looking online to see what flower carts and food carts look like, a lot of them had vegetables in it, which was cute. Okay, so there it is right there on my front panel. I need to cut some of the legs off of my linen thread right here. There we go. And there's my final card. How cute is that? So folds up, folds open. Happiest birthday to you. There's my little fun fold. I don't even have a name for it. There were some that folded from both sides in like this and then up like that, but I liked it this way. You can take your bone folder and just really score that top edge right there, and that's going to help it all kind of stay down as well. So these, I'm going to bring all the cards out here again. Hope you guys enjoyed this today. I know it's a little more fiddly than what you're used to seeing me do, right? And but I hope you enjoyed the cards today. And if you would like a card kit to make 6 of these cards like I have right here in front of me, all you have to do is go to the Tuttle Up shop, place an order of $35 or more, Preferably use host code W3G4ZMUK. That's my current host code. I'll know that you want the class kit to go, and I will put the kit all together for you. So I will do all the measuring and cutting. I'm not allowed to stamp for you. I'm not allowed to send stamped images. So you will need the flower cart bundle and maybe the Sew Softly bundle to be able to create these cards exactly like I did. So I'm going to move the camera up and around. Here we go. So nice to see all of you, and thank you for watching me today. Please share me out to your friends if you think I showed some things that they might like. And as always, I'm humbled and honored that you watched my little Facebook Live today. And if you have questions, if you want to join my team, I will put the link in the description. I'll also put the link in the description to join my email list so you can find out about all of my classes. And God bless everybody. I'll see you next Monday. Bye-bye.